welcome to G Talks. Or hi everyone, welcome to G Talks. And today we are talking about joking to cope, or joke to cope, where we are going to discuss how have we used joking, or how have we joked in certain scenarios in our life to cope, to hide certain points or aspects of ourselves. And today with me we have Gabriel and Mike. Gabriel, can you please introduce yourself?
Oh, well, I am Gabriel, so
And you're
yeah, I
from
am going
Mexico.
to be here with you, sharing about this point my experiences.
All right, cool. And Mike,
Hey, I'm Mike, and I'm someone who's joked to cope with the deep-seated truths of myself that, yeah, was looking for outlets basically, and I didn't even know what I was looking for, but it was just kind of acting out in different ways.
all right, cool. So
Yeah.
today we're going to get perspectives from three different people, myself, Gabriel, and Mike. And we would love to hear from you in our comments and questions, answering questions section, where, as you can see today, I'm wearing a specific hat and glasses for absolutely no reason. I just put it on because I feel I'm going to be bombarded by a lot of jokes because we have a couple of jokers here and they would like to be funny. So let's see what happens. So, Mike, if we look at joking to cope, can you give us one example that sticks out through your life where you have specifically joked to cope? A scenario, a moment, and how that has changed your life or how you have not changed your life because of using joking to cope?
Yes. So let's say, okay, going into like different environments where I would be with a bunch of people, and it's kind of like I wanted to be the center of attention. Like having that in my mind that, I want to control the flow of things. So I'd go like out of my way to make people uncomfortable by like bringing up things that are, well, insensitive and like difficult or tough. And so I would present the character of being at ease within it to an extent, to kind of play with the emotions of others. And really, it was like a result of my own inadequacies and like a way to try to fit myself in and feel powerful as a result of like allowing myself to really be here, like at ease, chill. So it's kind of like I was drawing attention to other things to really hide my own self-imposed limitations.
So can you give us an example of what is it that you were hiding, if you don't mind sharing that?
Um, yeah, it was the point of fitting in, like, and just simply being here. That like I connected it to my worth, or I guess so deeply within me there was a point of like unworthiness within myself, and I made it out to be like a competition point, which I was in competition with everyone else in my world, and so I needed like the approval and recognition of others, and then because I had value so closely related with like the attention you get from others, is like others basically have to say it so in order for it to be so. So it was kind of like I was looking to substantiate my self-worth externally through others as a result of not really giving it to myself.
And you would say that joking got you exactly that, because joking is meant to create a certain experience, feeling in other people, where
Yeah,
they're happy around you or they're amused by you.
yeah, yeah, so that was like a big part of it, was like specifically, in a lot of ways was like deliberately social engineering the environment and responses, reactions of others, to give me what I wanted to hear, what I wanted to get.
Even if it was just a laugh.
Yeah, I mean, talking about that, it sounds like, wow, like to what lengths, was I like willing to go? And yeah, is pretty hilarious, really, in looking at that because it's so effortful. Like it's the total opposite of being totally like at ease, laid back, and really sharing some good shit. But I mean, it's kind of like exemplifying the whole military industrial complex in a lot of ways, where you're just like developing such planning and strategy within yourself to just get, this aha moment, or an applause or like a laugh or a compliment, like going to such great lengths to
Okay.
justify the means.
So I would say that because I'm looking at myself here, when I used to be the joker that everyone would laugh at or I'd make jokes or I would amuse people, it's usually because I was hiding a fear. Meaning
Yeah.
I started developing that character at a certain age, at a certain point in my life. I wasn't, raised that way. Like let's say for the first 7 years of my life, I wasn't necessarily a joker. But I can see that when I went to school, that certain events took place where I felt like I'm not going to fit in. Because let's say there's a instance of bullying happening, or an instance of the group of kids are laughing at me, and then I would try and attempt to take power back through doing ridiculous things or saying funny things, or in the moment point something out about someone else, and everyone would laugh, and they would start connecting this fun, energetic experience to me, where they know that every time we hang out with Gian, we're gonna laugh. Ah, it's gonna be funny being around him because you're using the general feeling that life is depressed, life is sad, life is not full of life, and you are becoming that livelihood, you are becoming that beacon of fun that exists out there, because of events that happened to me. I started taking on a character like that. So do you see anything in your life, Mike, where you started taking on this character? How did you develop that?
Yeah, that's a great question. And yeah, that goes back to my very early childhood, like 4 years old, in the schoolyard, and I was being bullied by some older kids. Like basically, I was just playing in the sandbox or whatever. Well, yeah, I was in the sandbox playing, and just kind of running around, joking around, carefree, very much so. And these older dudes just started like, calling me names and stuff. And the experience in me at the time was like, like what the fuck? Like I didn't get it at all. Didn't seem funny, and I felt like very powerless because they just kept going, and were taunting me, and I didn't know what to do or even really how to express myself. My vocabulary was kind of very limited, and I was fearful really because I didn't like it. I just wanted to play, and this kind of was getting in the way of that. So I went home that night and I like told my folks about it, and they told me sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt you.
That's
And
a
so I
comedy.
was like, what's that?
That sounds like a comedy.
Very, yeah, very much so. So, with that like in store basically it's kind of like, okay, so this is how things work. It's just
Yeah.
like a word game kind of thing. It was like I wanted to go back to those guys, so it was like I orchestrated it basically almost like, oh, put myself in the same situation, confront these guys, and then it was like, the same pattern playing out, and then it was kind of like, fuck you, what, basically, because it was like, ha ha ha, like sticks and stones will break your bones, but words will never hurt you. And so I was like getting the last laugh, so to speak, and they were kind of like, what the fuck? And then that kind of like evolved into just, me continuing to just like point out their ridiculousness or whatever, and basically go into like mimicking them in a lot of ways by, making fun of them. And that was like the
So
PowerPoint for me.
it's interesting because it's like sticks and stones may break my bones, but words cannot. But it seems that you became kind of a word bully.
Yeah, very much so.
So in the end, that's interesting design because I see the same for myself. Um, yeah, I felt very small and weak, and through making others small and weak through jokes, through my words, I was able to feel big and strong and powerful. And I always did get the last laugh because even though I'm not laughing last, inside myself I always go, "Yeah, motherfuckers, I got you to laugh. I got
Yeah,
you to like me. I won."
yeah. It's like, yeah, willing to just keep the fight going because like the fight is so deeply rooted in yourself, and getting that like release kind of thing of like, oh, this is good, or I can just keep going with it, and yeah.
All right, cool. So we've had a silent participant. Sorry, Gabriel.
Oh,
Now we will go over to see what do you have to share in relation to joke to cope. Or you can
okay.
use your own example, Gabriel. You can use someone else's. You can see something that you have perceived or seen.
Okay. So I believe that I am the other side of the story. Um, every time that I went into a new school and I had like pattern in my life where I would tend to change of school like every 2 years or every year, so I didn't have like that opportunity to really make friends and so on and so on. So in um, every year that I change of school, it's like I will try to think about like a new opportunity to be the now the cool guy and, and go and make these jokes and so on and so on. But you know, I was maybe I was a pretty bad comedian, because no one will ever laugh of what I was trying to portray within myself as that like comedian personality or whatever. So it's like you get the I got the other spectrum of being the guy that actually tells the bad jokes and no one laughs, and but at the very end you end up being a clown, so to speak. I don't know how to say it, because I would be the guy of that I make any comment, and I will have like everyone else saying that was like so stupid, and you know. So
Gabriel, what I feel you're expressing here is what I've also expressed. I will be the guy that I make jokes to laugh by myself. I'll be like sitting there and I'll be like, and everyone will be like, "What the fuck, man? I didn't get that. Why are you confusing all of us?" Is that kind of what you're explaining?
uh,
Like
in a
bad
certain
jokes?
way, yeah, yeah. But it was like I was trying to use that personality to feel comfortable, to try to be the um yeah, to try to get that comfort within my expression, because it's like every time that I will get into a new school and I will receive like these comments, I will feel like so um I don't know, like so depressed, so sad, because I didn't knew how to relate with other people. So, and something that I must admit, and something that I believe that you are already concluding from this, is that the very reason of why I was um, changing of a school that much is because I felt uncomfortable in the schools because of my relationship with my schoolmates.
Or with
So
yourself?
yeah, so I was having a conversation with a girl that makes very recently that makes like stand-ups of comedy and things like that, and I told her that I actually admire the people that make comedy, that are comedians, because I thought, or I perceive it as very difficult, and she answered me saying like, yeah, you can't do it because one needs to be one needs to be like very convinced of what one is doing to be able to do that. And at the very beginning, I will perceive her as very assertive, but as we were talking about it just a few minutes ago, I also was able to see that within her, it's like she was angry, you know. So
Yeah, because
um,
a lot of people that use joking is also because they don't have an effective way of constructing what it is they want to say. And because joking can be snappy, it can be fast, it can be uh, pinpointing to the point, you don't have to build up a conversation. You can build up a, a kind of a line that you speak. And you know that secretly it's like daggers that's going to hit someone. You know, you're throwing a dagger. And this joke is funny, so no one's going to see those daggers. You know, the joke is just hilarious. Everyone's gonna laugh and everyone's gonna applaud it. But you might as well set an assassin in the room and kill someone. That's mostly what I see with jokes. It's always aimed at hitting someone. But we do have Mike here, who wanted to be a stand-up comedian. And Mike, do you have a perspective on how we can make jokes to support, to assist? How can we change joking to be something that is fun?
Well, I mean, it's really quite simple, Gian. It's to make fun and funny jokes. Um, and I mean, okay, what I mean by that was, it's being okay with the bad jokes, so to speak. It's like putting yourself out there and sharing a point because you have this point to share, and you see there's some good shit to it. Like, so it's a giving as you'd like to receive in such a way where you have to like allow yourself to first really be at ease and comfortable within yourself to such an extent where you've taken ownership of the funny, of the joke, of the point, and you're giving it as a point of like giving it, not like with conditions or whatever, or like being like with all these like ulterior motives about it, or just doing it as a sort of coping mechanism to make yourself feel better or whatnot. And so in a lot of ways, comedy, like the funny, can be a point of support for so many people here to lighten up, because I mean the truth reality of the world is that there is so much depression, suppression in this world, like within humanity, and to be like effective in playing with the humor, the fun, is to kind of like, you know, bring it down, like slow things down, and allow the time space for that humor, like that, that ease of the moment. And I think really the best shit comes from, like the self-honest reflections within ourselves. So, we stand as the points, and thus the jokes, the sharings, become a point of all-inclusive participation, where it's not about, like pointing the finger like at another person, where, it's so much so of like, like making fun of things. It's about like sharing the fun that exists within ourselves, and kind of, being able to like allow ourselves to, just move and play as that. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just so you know that these glasses are 3D glasses, and I've been looking at everyone the wrong way. So now we are going to push ourselves to see if each one of us can tell a joke, but it has to be funny. Okay, we'll start with Mike. Because he seems to be knowing some jokes, maybe. All right, Mike, you got a joke for us?
Yeah, I do. I got a really bad joke for you guys.
Mm.
Okay. Okay, first I'm gonna need you guys to put your hands on your ears. Okay, now go like this. Okay, now go like this. Okay, now try to stick your whole fist in your mouth.
Oh, come
Like,
on.
okay, that's great. I just wanted to see if you'd do that.
Okay. So that was it. Okay, so you were using practical jokes. That's what I see.
Yeah, I was just, playing around. I just made it up in the moment
Okay.
there.
Here's my
Uh,
joke.
yeah.
Here's my joke. I'm
Okay.
gonna tell a joke. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Now this joke is about Johnny. All right. Do you guys know Johnny?
No.
I know of some Johnnies. Yes. What
Okay. So
what
don't
Johnny
make
are
this
you talking
about
about?
any Johnny that you know. This is just Johnny, imaginary Johnny. All right.
Okay.
Why do Johnny put his radio in the freezer to listen to cool
Why?
music?
Wah wah wah.
That's what I got, guys. Okay, Gabriel. Let's see what you got.
Oh, come on. Mm. Um, damn.
You can make it up. You can make it up right now.
Try to make a joke that's not funny.
Yeah, it
That's
doesn't have to be funny, you see.
those are often the best ones.
Okay.
Think of something that you have
So,
seen or have done and try and remake it.
mm. So, oh fuck, no, I can't.
Okay, no pressure. You don't have to go for another one. All right.
Okay.
So obviously we can see that on this hangout we are facing some interesting personalities, which is Gabriel seems to have a misinterpretation as well of what the hangout's about. Correct?
Yeah.
All right. So what did you think the hangout was going to be about, Gabriel?
Um, yeah, like when one tries to be the cool guy and the funny guy to impress other people. So
Okay. So you're seeing cool as being funny.
yeah,
Well, that's interesting. Okay. Now, what is it that you saw with the cool kids that was funny that you couldn't relate to?
acceptance, recognition, to be uh, yeah, like embraced by other people, and that um, they will always like get the attention. And I guess that at the same time that was what I was looking. But what I did was to make the opposite. I went into the serious character, the strong character, the tough guy character, and I will push the anger to be now uh, the bad guy, so to speak. When I find to not being able of to relate with other people, so it was like, okay, I can't relate with anyone, so I'm going to screw everyone. So
Gonna screw everyone.
I'm
Sexually?
going screw. Well, I'm going to be like I don't know if that is.
see, Mike just did a kind of a joke, which is how you do it in real life. In real life, you wait for that moment and that opportunity to where you can say something, and then it becomes funny. And that is how the Joker character works. Because it takes opportunity of moments where everyone else isn't aware, where everyone else isn't observing and being serious, and you can take that moment of making it something funny or lighten up the mood, so to say. Because as you can see, you were going into a serious character and I was going into a serious character, and what did Mike do? He made a joke and it lightened up the whole seriousness, okay?
Yeah.
And that can also show why people don't enjoy seriousness, because then you might also feel threatened. As you said, you took on the serious character because you were going to screw everyone, which Mike doesn't necessarily like, so he made a joke to, not have that seriousness. So here you're looking at how the two personalities start working together and playing together. Of you have the Joker and the serious guy. All right, do you guys see that?
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's quite interesting that it takes place over the Hangout. All right, so Gabriel, have you ever felt like there's something missing because you cannot necessarily be the Joker guy?
Excuse me?
Have you ever felt that there's something missing because you can't be the Joker guy, the guy that's funny?
Yeah, like that comfortability. I saw um, the ability of being funny, of being able to make comedy as the ability to be comfortable with one's own expression, because it doesn't matter how stupid or how ridiculous it is what one says, one is comfortable. And I was like never able to feel that way. So now the guy that I can consider like my best friend, I I initially, well, that the relationship has changed since I got to the process of Destiny, but the very reason why I firstly began to like try to be close with him was because he was the fun guy, the funny guy, the one who is like making jokes. And I tried to like to, I don't know if the word is imitate his expression, the way he expressed and so on. But whenever I would try to make even the same jokes that he was making, no one will ever laugh to what I said, and that was weird to me. Oh, excuse me.
Because it's mainly how he does it in that comfortability. And you were the serious guy. So if you do the serious guy making the joke, it's like, I don't get it.
It's like trying to fight the joke you're telling. It's like you so want to do it, but at the same time you're like, no, I fucking don't. And then you're like going through with it, where it's like you're like trying to spit it out, but you're like, no, don't spit it out. But then no, I gotta spit it out. So it's like a push-pull. When I think you're close with just like letting it out, because it's not that in making a joke ever that a person who jokes around doesn't have discomforts. I think it's facing your own nerves so much so, and like the fears within yourself at different times, where like if you look at or listen to like a bunch of stand-up comedians, and they talk about getting up on stage for the first time, or even ones that are professionals now, they face like a lot of inner turmoil about it, like nervousness, discomforts, and it was a matter of like allowing themselves to push past that, like really question that point. Is this all I am, or can I express myself beyond the like experience that's coming up within myself? And yeah.
Okay. Thanks,
Yeah.
Mike. Because you were going to be a stand-up comedian, or you were looking at going into that direction.
Yeah.
So what changed your mind?
Well, it's kind of more like I let the point go a little bit. Um, I could see within myself some shit basically, uh, and to an extent I was too full of shit, and I didn't know how full of shit I was, which caused my own constipation, so to speak, in that I was just imploding upon myself and creating like excuses, reasons of why I don't want to do this anymore, when ultimately it was basically like writing myself off to a certain extent. And I made it like excuses, justifications as like, well, I'm going to do this now, or I'm doing this. Uh, Essentially, I was getting too serious about comedy, in the sense that like I was creating, sort of like polarized dynamic within myself, where yeah, I wanted to do this. Um, Yet at the same time, I didn't like a lot of what I was seeing in the environment that like comedy is, like the club scene and all that. Like just and so I kind of went into a point of superiority where it was kind of like, oh fuck this, like I don't want to do this. I don't like the process that's involved with it. Like it's so slow, like that I should have to prove my worth to the club owner, or like suck up to get stage time. I'd like to do it, but I didn't want to like slog along with it, and I didn't realize it for quite a while that it was like deep down inside myself. I had points of my own accepted and allowed inferiority, inadequacy, and it was like, well, essentially, I didn't take the time to open it up enough, really. And so it just projected externally as to the reasons and justifications of why I didn't allow myself to go there, do it more. And, sort of, I guess, discounted it as it being like a valid point or a cool direction for me to take with my life. So I decided to get more serious with work, and thinking like, wow, comedy is, like, oh, that's just joking around, being funny or whatever. Like that's, yeah, it's funny, man, because it was like so laced with just so much shit, essentially, to put it,
You know,
simplistically.
sounds like when I was doing karate, and I was like, who makes a career out of karate? You know, because it's literally kids and people boxing at bags and kicking in the air, and then doing chakras or whatever you have. And because of those same kind of judgments, I stopped doing karate and completely judged it off, written it off. Instead of realizing that it's me who has to change in
Yeah.
relation to what I'm doing and use it as a supportive point. So what we're pushing to here is to see how to embrace comedy or joking where it isn't coping, but instead something that we can use to push beyond our limitations and insecurities. So here we're gonna look at Gabriel again, because I want to see, Gabriel, how do you see you can embrace joking or being funny as a way of pushing through your seriousness, but in a practical way where it is to support and assist yourself? Do you see anything?
Well, as you were sharing a few moments ago, that to find the spontaneity of the moment, there have been moments in which I have been actually like said something that other people find funny, but I wasn't pretending to make any joke. I I don't know. Then I will like return to the moment and try to like evaluate what I just said and why that was like funny. And I mean, here in Mexico we have like all of these games around the uh, sexual jokes, so to speak. And, it is called the um, I don't know what is the name in English, but it is like something very common to make sexual jokes like all the time. And I mean, you can like make a joke of anything that can be related to something sexual, but
Gabriel, do you like
without even.
bananas with the peel on or off?
Excuse me.
Do you like to eat bananas with the peel or without the peel? Are you talking about those kind of jokes?
Yeah, something something like that, you know.
You know, sexual jokes is probably 99% of all jokes that I've ever known. I'm not lying. Since I was in school until I left school, sexual jokes was the one thing that kept on coming every single day. You know, before I got introduced to sexual jokes, I used to eat this chocolate that had a lot of nuts in it. And one day I opened the wrapper and my friend said, "Oh, so you like it nutty?" And I look at him and I'm like, "What the hell are you saying?" And he's like, "Yeah, you know what I'm saying, you know?" So I never ate that chocolate again. Now, everyone was laughing in that moment, and I did not get why. You know, my mind wasn't where their minds was yet. But then I discovered the power of sexual jokes. And this is how I externalized my insecurity of sex. You know, so if you want to look at a society and if they're very insecure about sex, then that's what their jokes will be about. And you can also see through the jokes what a person is insecure about. Once you start realizing that joking is coping, joking is covering something else. And because I know that I did sexual jokes since I was 13 up until I was 18, every single day, and kids would love it. Kids would, you know, they would wait for me to make that joke because everyone in my society and where I grew up is sexually suppressed. Because you're only allowed to have sex once you're married. You're only allowed to, you know, do all these things that is sexual once you are at a certain age, at a certain marriage. You know, all these conditions are set. So everyone is suppressing sex, and now it's coming through as jokes. And because triggering that sexual suppression or denial inside everyone the whole time, you're the funny guy. You know, like making a banana, eating a banana. Sexual, or someone is sucking on a lollipop and you go, you like that. You know, it's a lot of things that becomes sexual. And the more you look at it, everything is designed to be sexual. It's like the joke is everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, like look at a Coke bottle. It's one big penis, and you can hold it in one hand. You know, and you can just down that stuff. You know, you have everything in this world also looks like nipples. There's so many things that is sexually designed around us. So no wonder everyone has sexual jokes. Sexual jokes is one of the main things. And what is one of the main things that is badly suppressed in this world is sex. Just look at porn and masturbation. It's 38% of our internet. You know, so jokes can also be quite revealing. And I have used jokes in a sexual way to support certain people to push through limitations or judgments that they have about sex. You know? So that's how you can use jokes to be supportive. Like I make my jokes very realistic. You know? Instead of it being a fantasy or a picture or something that's created in a person's mind. Like you can make it very realistic and people can still laugh at it, but they can also see, shit, I didn't look at that point of reality and here it was exposed to me in a joke, funny way. I'm not gonna say any of those jokes here because, viewer discretion.
That is really interesting because um, well, what has been my experience, I always saw the joking as like a form of lack of respect to other people, but I never conceived them as something that could be supportive. Uh, so it's a quite interesting conception because I also saw, and maybe because of my background, that the one who is making the jokes is also the tough guy, you know, the the one that is like daring to get with everyone and you know, like not having any respect for other people.
And what do you know about tough guys?
Excuse me?
And what do you know about tough guys?
I believe that pretty much nothing, you know,
Well, you try to
because
be the serious guy, which is the same thing as a tough guy.
yeah,
So you know what's behind the serious or tough guy character. And
anger.
that's why the tough guy or the serious guy would necessarily, be the way that you explained just now. It's because they are hiding a lot of insecurities or fears or fear of being vulnerable. There's a lot of points that the tough guy or the serious guy is hiding. And usually joking is also an outlet of how you can be vulnerable for a moment or express something where, oh, I was just joking, it's not real. People say that.
I think the way, like, to add to the whole point of how the joke can practically support somebody, like, let's say maybe you're poking at something, but doing it in a way where it's light. Within doing that, maybe the person reacts to you making a joke about that point. But I think the real responsibility in being like the joke teller or the joke shower, sharer, is to like take the time, the responsibility to open that up further with the person that you're sharing that with, because in many instances when it's like a real joke of support, the person might be closed off on that point to such an extent that just simply saying the joke won't open them up. So you have to kind of like scale back and deconstruct the joke to such an extent where the terms are clear, so to speak, so that the person can like move with you and be like, ah, okay, like yes, like I get it now, like, oh man, I wasn't seeing that because I was fucking myself in the eye or whatever and I couldn't see clearly. And then they make like a joke on it, and it's kind of like you can share the laugh together because now you both realize the ridiculousness of that situation because you took the time to walk it through together, and that's yeah.
Cool, Mike. Yeah, that's definitely a perspective that has to be considered, that you have to be able to, stick with the person and not just leave them with the joke. So you can
Yeah.
explain to them the practical points. So we can see jokes as being a supportive thing in terms of like a nutcracker. You're just
Absolutely.
cracking the nut, and either the nut's gonna crack open by itself, or you need to sit still and chisel a little bit more, to support the nut
Bulbous.
to completely open. So
Yeah.
because jokes are quite penetrating, they are quite intense, or they can
Yeah.
be. They're quite fast and witty, like a lightning strike. There's a joke. Oh shit, someone just hit me with lightning. And you got to be quick. You're either going to laugh, you're going to react, you're going to respond. And you, as the Zeus Almighty throwing lightning of jokes, you need to be able to also support someone else with, why did I make that joke just now? Do you understand what was the implication behind the joke? What I was showing you with the joke? Because I have got some people that they got really annoyed by my jokes, and later on they just ask you to please leave. We don't want you anymore here. You are just annoying. You're just making everything irritating, and so your jokes can also go too far.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean that's a point to take responsibility for too. Like at times, sometimes people are just so serious that you going into the joke character to be like light or silly or goofy or whatever, like be the butt of the joke. That sometimes like enough is enough kind of thing. That you're not essentially saving anyone within your joke telling. It's like all it is a point of support, and sometimes the support given in, let's say, opening up the silly, the funny on that, where it leads a person to basically tell you to fuck off or whatever, go away, is that that's okay too. That can happen at times, and not to take that personally where you go into a thing like, you're telling me to fuck off? Like, let me tell you some more shit about you, buddy, or whatever, and, kind of like perpetuate the whole like war conflict dynamic by taking it personally that, they're not getting it and wanting them to get a point of seeing in that moment and not considering like the time space sometimes required for a point to come through into clarity.
Cool, thanks, Mike. So we have 50 minutes left. I'm going to ask whoever is watching and whoever might come on, please leave a comment or question if you have any in the Q&A section, and we will gladly answer it for you, or we'll make a joke about it. And in the meantime, we still need to get Gabriel to make a joke.
Oh.
Have you had time to think, Gabriel?
Okay.
See how joking can support you. Use the moment. Like, see how you can use a light joke or say something that can help you to crack the nut. Your own nut. You have to obviously first crack through your own nut.
To crack my own nut, that is going to hurt. I mean, I have two, but one also hurts.
There we go, we got one. All right, cool, Gabriel, we got the joke. All right, you see, I gave you the opportunity through my words, and you took that gap, and you jumped right in.
Oh, so...
All right.
That's kind of cool though too, Gabriel, is that you didn't really try to force it or whatever. Like Gian is kind of putting you under pressure, under the spot, is like, tell me a joke now, like it's time for you to tell me a joke, and then you're like, okay, like, but still kind of like maintaining some patience, like composure. There is like, well, fuck, man, you just throw me under the bus, put me on the spot. And then you waited till it's like he gave you something to work with, and then you're just like, well, fuck, you want me to bust my balls, like, and because so much so that's what happens, is like we throw each other under the bus by being like, be funny right now, when that's like not how it works. It's not like here I am, ooga booga,
but you see, I did lay down the words, the environment to flourish. I did consider further.
Absolutely.
All
I
right,
just wanted to emphasize the point there for Gabriel to see that even it's to be patient within it and like pick your moment, as you can make it however you want it.
Yeah, it's kind of helping you to be sharp, be aware more, because you have to listen, you have to see people's words, each word, and then while their words are coming, you're looking at, what can I say here to help someone there, or to push the point. You become creative.
Yeah, it's a great point of responsibility.
It is. It's a superhero responsibility.
Yeah. We need more jokes in this world. We need more funny.
We need more funny
It's gonna be
serious.
Serious funny.
All right, so just to remind everyone, whoever is on here, please, if you have any questions, any comments, leave them now. We have 10 minutes left, but if we do not find any comments or questions in the next 5 minutes, we will be saying goodbye. In the meantime, let's see how many jokes we can tell or make. Okay?
What are we gonna make them with? Like, what do you
You're
got?
gonna be creative, real creative right now. Okay?
Oh yeah. Where do you get your creative from?
From when I was a child.
Okay. I
Alright?
think I think you should put your hat back on. That was like a pretty creative hat you had there. There we go.
Alright. So here's another joke. Why does Johnny sleep with his motorbike next to his bed?
Because he wants to get off.
You just made it better. No, because that way he can get faster to dreamland.
Ah.
Why does Johnny sleep with honey next to his bed?
Because he wants to get some honey.
No, so you can give the ghosts a very sticky slap.
He wants to what? The what?
Give ghosts a very sticky slap.
Okay.
Why does Johnny live in a round house?
That way it's easy for him to get around.
You just made it better. You see, I'm giving you all the opportunities.
Oh yeah, for sure you are.
Okay, but no, the real answer is so that ghosts cannot corner him.
Ah.
You know, I'm telling you jokes of things that I learned when I was like 4 or 5. And these jokes go around school all day, for weeks, because it just stays funny. It's the innocence in something being funny. You know, it doesn't get old, doesn't get sterile. It's kind of like always funny. Like when you fart as a kid, farting is always funny. And then as we become adults, it becomes so fucking serious. You know, oh, who farted? You know, and girls has to really keep it in because apparently there is some conspiracy about farting, and they just can't have it.
Wait, whoa. Girls do fart?
They what? I don't know. Actually, I've never confirmed the sighting,
Okay.
but males
Because
leave their
that's
marks everywhere.
yeah, yes.
All right, there is 2 more
So
minutes left. Please, any comments, any questions? We are more than welcome. We're happy to answer them.
why did the cow go to the movies?
I don't know.
Because it's the movies.
Okay.
Why do cows like to move?
Because it's moving.
That's right. How does the cow sing happy birthday?
I don't know.
Happy birthday to Moo.
Yeah,
No?
I don't know. I was just wondering if you knew.
That's one of the dry jokes.
Yes.
All right, we have 1 more minute left. Can we get up to something?
What do you get when you got two dudes, a tennis racket, a bowling ball, a jester who looks like a jack-o'-lantern, and a trampoline?
What do you get? You get all of that.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, that sometimes I like to specialize in bad jokes because they're much easier than really clever jokes because it's funny just because it's so bad. You know, it's like
Okay.
really just strung that bunch of shit together. Like, what was the point of that? And you know, it's just sometimes fun to allow yourself to move outside the constraints of being so serious all the time in a world that can be so serious.
Okay, so how many guys does it take on a hangout not to be funny?
3?
3.
Oh my god! All right. Knock knock. Who's there?
Who's there? Or who is there? Is
Yeah,
that it?
knock knock. Who's there?
3
It's a
pretty
bad
bad
joke.
comedians. Three.
Ugh,
Okay, there's
that's
you go
go
to the
ahead.
toilet and you hear row 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 on your boat. Now, what would you think is happening when you went to the toilet and you're hearing a sound of row 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 on your boat? What would the first thing be that comes to mind when you hear that?
Gently
a
down the
very
stream.
a very stinky boat.
So you would first of all think about finishing the song and who the fuck is singing that? Okay.
I was thinking I was gonna send my shit down the stream as like, you know, maybe how it goes. It's like, oh, isn't this complimentary? It's like, yeah, that's where it goes. Down it goes.
All right.
Down the toilet stream.
All right, guys. So we have now no Q&A, and I cannot see the comments right now. But that is it for the chat tonight. Joke to cope, and I believe that in the end of this hangout, we started joking just to cope with the bad hangout.
I think so.
Yeah.
You see how ironic this is? All right. Thank you very much. Enjoy the day, and I will just take that off so everyone can see I'm still human. I'm going to say goodbye now. Sorry, I'm still laughing at the shit joke. Believe it or not, it was funny. All right. Thank you very much. Goodbye, everyone, and hope that you learned something from the Hangout. Cheerio.